there, it's your girl Sharnae by Grace, and I want to start out by saying Happy Black History Month 2025. I want to encourage those of you who are like me. We are the willing, led by the unknowing, doing the impossible for the ungrateful. We have done so much with so little for so long. We are now capable of doing anything with nothing. Welcome to part 1 of 28 Days of Equity.
The whole of humanity had all the solutions for the pain and...
Let's begin with a good working definition of equity. Equity is the quality of something being fair and impartial. Oftentimes, people experience inequity at such an alarming rate they can't tell or understand or perceive when they are having a lack of equity experience in their lives. Today, to understand equity, we're going to talk about colorism. As predicted by scholar W.B. Du Bois' book, Souls of Black Folk, the problem, and I quote, of the 20th century is the problem of the color line. Who knew that the problem of the 21st century was still going to be the color line? Let me share something with you that I found in a study. Colorism is defined as the tendency to risk being perceived or behaved towards by members of a racial category based on the lightness or darkness of their skin tone. So I want to share this with you. In this 2021 study on the effects of colorism on self-perception and self-esteem, it revealed the effects of colorism is believed to have a lasting impact on the American community. The results of the survey illustrate the negative impact and experiences African Americans have encountered, and it suggests that there's a positive correlation with colorism and its impact at work and school, and shows that many people believe that the media does not well represent every skin tone and complexion, and this could also be a reason behind the prominence of colorism. So, let's discuss this in a practical way. Let's start out with Band-Aids, crayons, and stockings. That's right. Band-Aids, crayons, and stockings are a prime example of the difference between equality and equity. Equality means you have access to something. Equity means you have access to something at the level, at the experience that you needed. So let's start with Band-Aids. I know when I was growing up in school, one of the things that you got if you got a boo-boo was a Band-Aid. And back then, everything was the same color as the Band-Aid brand. You got a flesh tone Band-Aid. And we took it and were grateful. And when we got home, we were proud to show that Band-Aid to our parents. And we were told that that was flesh tone. Same thing with crayons. You had a brown crayon to color your face, or you had a cream colored or peach crayon to color your face. And that was it. You had to choose between peach or cream or brown. And that's it. And maybe you sprinkled in a little bit of your white crayon to make the cream color. But that was called your flesh tone crayon. Last thing was stockings. I can remember walking to the store on Sunday mornings if I got a rip in my stockings, or guess what? I didn't have any. So you went to the store and you got what was called flesh tone stockings. And guess what? That flesh tone was all one basic tone. And the only kind of stockings that I ever remember being different was Whistlers. They had white, brown, and black. That's it. Colorism still exists. Yes, people are profiled by the skin tone all the time. However, in the 21st century, creators of products, we see this in the things that we use for our skin. We see this in our classrooms now, in the crayon box, as well as in the Band-Aid box. You can not only get a Band-Aid or a crayon or a pair of stockings, you can get it in your flesh tone. So that's the difference between having an equitable experience and having equity in your experience. And now we can pretty much go to the store and pick up a box of crayons and find our flesh tone color. We are So grateful for the Band-Aid brand thinking eventually that, hey, I need to support that flesh tone looks brown and light brown and peach and close to white and very, very, very dark brown. That's the reality of flesh tone. It's not one color. Early on in American society, we were trained and conditioned to believe that flesh tone was one color. But because of the evolution of time and progress, we now know that flesh tone is everybody's color. The more you know. I'll see you tomorrow for part 2 of 28 days of equity. As I always say, God is for you, Jesus is with you, the Holy Spirit is in you, all of heaven's angels are on your side. I love you. There's nothing you can do about that. Bye.